Hey, it's Kaylee. You know me as the Parts Girl, and I work here at PartsEdge. Thanks for following this awesome journey as we highlight thought leaders and trailblazers, share best practices in fixed ops, and cover success stories of how dealers sell more parts and service. This is the PartsEdge podcast with Kaylee Felio. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm joined by someone who brings 2 full decades of fixed ops experience in the actual dealership. He's also a really good friend of mine, Kyle Morisette. He has worked on improving processes, partnering with companies to build technology that actually helps dealerships, not just adds more noise. He's passionate about solving problems, the problems that hold managers back, and creating tools that support real results on the service drive and in the parts department. You're going to learn about so many awesome things that he's doing and his transition from at the dealership into working with TechWall. We talk about gaps, opportunities, the right tech, leadership approach, all the good stuff. I could go on and on, but let's just dive in, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, welcome, Kyle. I'm excited to interview you today.
I'm excited to be here for sure.
I don't even know how to say your last name. Can you say it for me?
Morissette.
Morissette. I shouldn't. That's like an easy last name, but I butcher everyone's name, so I'm like, can you just say it for me?
Yeah, everybody's like Alanis, and I'm like, yeah. And now if I say it to people that are too young, they don't even know who she is, so it doesn't work as well as it used to.
So I'm not too young because I do know that. I'm like on the right as the thing. Okay. Anyways, I think I actually walked down because it's like she's like bluegrass kind of, right? Or am I thinking of someone
Yeah,
else?
she's well, no, I mean she's a mix of it. What
Like
is
the
it?
one that's like
Something
you
with
don't love me or are
jagged
you
little
love
pill.
me or the what's one
Yeah,
the one
jagged
where
little.
like you yeah the famous one.
Yeah, jagged
I
little
don't.
pill. That's what everybody knows.
Okay. Yeah.
Hit the lottery, and die the next day. That would be my life.
No, don't talk like that. Okay, I'm so excited to interview you because you had like a growth year. Like you've had some changes. So I want to talk about all the well, we don't have to go way back, but like you've been in the dealership for how many years?
Over 20.
Yeah. Okay. And where did it start? Like what role did you start in?
I started out as a service advisor at a very small store. It was myself and the manager, and I think like 8 technicians, and that's kind of where I learned. And prior to that, I had worked for Enterprise Rent a Car, and they had stationed me in a dealer group called Inskip Auto Mall in Warwick, Rhode Island, and I ended up becoming friendly with the GM of the BMW store, Ken Kohler, and he was like, "You should come to this side, but you can't come to Inskip right away. You need to kind of figure out how this works." So I did, and then about a year later, he called me and brought me over, and I started at Audi, and then moved over to Lexus, and then the rest just kept going from there. We a whole bunch of time with Toyota and a bunch of great leaders and a bunch of great people that I still am in contact with all the way back to the original store I was in. We really um, it's been a lot of fun.
What attracted you the most to it's like most, I don't think we actually really picked to get into auto, but like once you were kind of in it, what attracted you to like keep on going and staying?
The interactions, right? The personal interactions, whether it's with a customer or your teammates or leadership or whatever. I love engaging with the customer and learning about them and building that relationship and that trust and being transparent with them and open with them and learning who they are. I mean, it's there's nothing better than a client come in and you haven't seen them in 6 7 months, whatever it may be, and you pick up right where you left off because you remember who they are and what the story is. And so for me it was really just the personal touch of what we do. The selling part of it, or the advising part of it, is fun too because obviously, financially, it's a lucrative position, right? So you do well if if your customers trust you and things are going the right way and you're moving, selling hours and selling parts, then at the end of the day, you make a pretty good living. And I didn't go to college, so I've been doing this right out of high school, and it's just been a great business, and it's one that I can't see myself not being in.
Yeah. Well, and now you're on the other side. So after 20 years, I always say like it's the vendor side isn't the dark side, but like it's kind
Yeah,
of like sometimes treated like, oh, you're on that side.
yeah. And instantly you feel it, right? So there's people that you've been talking
Even
to.
someone who works at a dealership, you still felt like, you're still I'm just like yeah, sorry, I interrupted, but like
No, no,
you're
you're
still
good.
feeling it.
Yeah, I do. There's so many people that I've had relationships with years and years and years, and then when they realize that you're not in a dealership, it's like they have amnesia, or I have amnesia, and I don't remember what I did the last 20 years, and that I don't provide the same value that I used to provide when I was in the store. The reality is this opportunity came up for me, and one, I love the product. I think that there's so much that we can do with the product for every individual dealer, which is something that I've been pushing over the last year. Is if you're going to be a partner for a dealership, you need to be truly that, a partner. You need to listen, you need to engage, and you need to figure out what you can do to be able to benefit them. This provides me that opportunity to be able to do it in more of a large scale,
Yeah,
where
that's exciting.
there's no limitation to the ability of me being able to get the message out, but also be able to continue the message, right? And learn what other people are doing that are successful as well. Where, when you're in one, two, even five, six stores, or just one group or whatever it is, you're kind of limited, right? Because you only see those engagements. This provides me the opportunity to see a lot of different things. We were just talking to a dealership in Canada. There's a lot of differences, and I need to understand what those differences are. But there's a lot of things that I can still bring to the table to help them operate at a higher level.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. And it reminds me that, because I've always been on this side, but I've been exposed to so many dealerships. And when I talk to people, they like think that because when you're at the dealership or you're with the 6 or 10 that you're with, it's like that's kind of your bubble and that's what you know. But then when you kind of like on your side, you're on exploring now, you're like, oh, they don't do it that way. I thought everyone kind of did it that way. So yeah, I always hear that when I interview people. It's like, no, there's the people do things a lot differently. Even though we're kind of this is the way it's always been, it's still kind of everyone operates differently. Anyways, okay. I want to get to what you guys are doing at TechWall because I don't think a lot of people know about it. And I'm super fascinated by tech and anything that solves problems. And with your mindset of like, this isn't just a solution everyone, well, it's a solution everyone probably should be using, but like, you're not like, forceful about it. You're like, we're going to actually help and solve a problem. So tell me what attracted you to this opportunity and what you guys are actually doing. Just like the small little sales pitch. Don't like make me fall asleep.
No, no, I won't do that at all. Honestly, I didn't know who they were either until about a year ago. I had brought on a voice, I had brought on a voice help in my store, and we were running
A
into
voice
some
help, what does
challenges.
that mean? Just so
So
everyone
to like Alpha AI or some that's who I had brought on, and they were partnered and still are partnered with us here at TechWall. And they had suggested that TechWall had the best scheduler out there, and that it would make it easier for the bot to be able to do its job and see status calls and things of that nature. So I took a couple of demos with our CEO for Long, who created this. She also owns stores and created this whole platform for making her dealerships be able to operate better. So being a one
wait,
stop.
pause. Sorry. I think out of all the people I interview, the best solutions are people that actually worked at dealership or like run dealerships and they created the tech for themselves and then it
Yeah,
just kind of like made it bigger.
yeah.
Anyways, okay. Go on.
Yeah, and that was, that was the big selling point for me, was that it was 100% customizable regardless of how many stores you have in the group. I was thinking about it. I've been over several stores, right? And each of those stores, although the meat and potatoes of how we do the business is the same, each one had different intricacies that I needed to do differently, whether it was the way I scheduled, the way we quoted, the way we did this. We can customize almost anything within our platform. So if there's something that needs to be changed, you tell us, and we find a way to get it done. So
So is the main solution solving the scheduling issue that's in our industry, like just how horrible it is?
well, I mean, part of it. And folks that know Tech Wall or have heard of us think of us as just a scheduler. That's really only 10% of what we do.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
our scheduler is one of the most robust, if not the most robust, in the business. Where we can split a lot of things out, from express to main to mobile to fleet. We break our scheduler down with actually adding technicians and their efficiency in there to help with capacity levels, things of that nature.
That is
Um,
huge. Yeah.
yeah, our mobile scheduler is now geofenced, so that we are scheduling so that the technician is wrenching more than driving. So we want to keep them on the right location, get them where they need to be, so that it goes the way it should. But all of that communication then translates over to the repair order, right? So all that information making it over to the advisor so that they can do what they need to do. Full write up package through TechWall, pictures, video, sending a link to the customer for a wet signature with time and date stamp saying that they approve what the car came in for. Another cool piece is, say the car got towed in or whatever, we can't get in touch with them. A lot of times that's written on a piece of paper and there's a key sitting on the desk, and then we got to figure out when the customer calls in. Not with us. You can go out and actually start a general write up on the vehicle, have a tag, everything else, go ahead and park it, send the estimate over to the customer via text message, and wait for the signature to come back before you bring the car in the store. So it's already tagged, parked, ready to go, or still in the same spot if it wasn't running. But now it's tagged. We know who it is. We know what advisor was working with it, and the estimate's already out to the customer. Everybody's aware.
And how does this
Um,
integrate? Like how, because there's isn't there like a bunch of different schedulers and there's, everything kind of has to integrate into all the different things, right?
Yep. So we're 100% certified with every DMS out there, including
Because that's
PDS
important.
and everything else for the Canadian store.
Yeah.
So we're 100% compatible with everybody out there. The other cool thing is that we're not restricted to just OEMs. So our program can run in independence. We can work motorsports, heavy machine, 18 wheelers, boats. So our product is scalable to be able to work in any of those locations. So we're also talking independence, and obviously our focus is on the OEMs and what we can provide there, but we have the availability to completely scale out and be able to present this to even more than the OEMs, which is another exciting part and something that I have to learn about because I've been on the OEM side for 20 plus years. But it's a solution that takes you from A to Z, including payments. So we send it. The invoice goes directly to the customer. They can make a payment. And cool if you being the parts girl, customers coming in, wholesale customers or counter tickets, things of that nature, you can actually send an invoice through Paywall, and be able to get the customer to pay right there on the spot. And sales can use it as well. If they're doing a down payment on a car, you can send an invoice for that as well. So really, it's a to Z function where it's one tool that you're able to operate your whole business in. Full communication with the customer, internal communication. There's AI built into the parts side of it to help with the parts team be able to pull parts and be pulling parts rather than be quoting parts all day. So
Interesting. Talk
there's
to me a little bit more about that because obviously I feel like we got some parts people that listen to this.
Yeah, for sure. For most of these programs that I've been with for 20 plus years, the ones that got the biggest punishment when we brought these in was the parts people, right? So they're having to go look up the part in the OEM fiche, and then bring it over and quote it on the DMS, and then quote it again in whatever they were using, whether it was ASR Pro or whatever. And then not only did they have to put the part number in, but they had to put all the pricing, the quantity, whether it was available, whether it wasn't. With us integrating fully with all of the DMSs, we have the real time inventory right there, so that when they're putting the information in, if they have to put a part number in, they put it in and it's pulling all the data, whether it's in stock, the part matrix, however it's set up, it's all there ready to go. And then the AI, as it's seeing a continuality of a part being recommended, it will recognize that this make, model, trim level, whatever requires this part, and the AI will actually know, hey, when I'm recommending this oxygen sensor, this is what comes with it. Um, and then on top of it, if they're using aftermarket options or Napa or O'Reilly's or something like that, we can actually connect to them and bring their catalog over into our program, and they can actually quote both out at the same time. Another piece that's cool for the parts people is once they do that one time. So say they want to they have the OEM oxygen sensor and they want to quote the aftermarket. As soon as they quote that, those two part numbers will meld, and every time you quote it, it's going to offer you both options. So for the first time ever, in my knowledge, somebody actually paid attention to the people in parts and said, "Hey, we have to find a way to make this easier for them as well." So, and with all the manufacturers, when or all the DMSs, once we push those lines over, it's actually selling the parts on there. All they have to do is pull them. They're already on the RO. Done.
Oh my gosh, that saves so much time. Okay, now I also have a question. Maybe you answered this already because this is a lot. What about when people are scheduling and or the process of scheduling? Isn't there a huge disconnect in like the availability of parts, like scheduling, and then the people are there, and it's like, well, we didn't have the parts for this. Like, isn't that such a huge issue? Do you guys
It
help
is.
solve that?
In a way, yes. I mean, if there's a so with SOPs, special order parts, if it's say a car came in, we had to order something and we didn't get them back on the schedule or whatever, TechWall, once those parts are received and it recognizes who it is going to actually alert the customer, get it scheduled. But not only are they going to schedule it, they're going to go back with one of the things that technicians don't like is, hey, I recommended this, but I didn't get the job back. Not anymore with TechWall. Once that appointment is booked, it's going to remember what advisor worked with it, what technician worked with it, and ensure that those two get married up together. And better thing is that it's going to make sure that in the calendar, when they're booking the appointment, make sure that that technician and advisor are available to make sure that they get the job. So on that side, yes. When it comes to recalls, things like that, where we know what parts we're going to need, yes, we'll see the real time data and be able to say, hey, we got to get this part ordered in advance of this appointment, or reschedule it or whatever needs to do, needs to go on there. But the cool thing about that is even if we don't have it and you just brought something to my attention that I'm going to make sure that I bring back to my Devo team to make sure we do, we're going to find out how to build it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I understand why you're so excited about this. Like all the years of dealership that you worked, and then just hearing, and then we're just like chipping, like we're not even going that deep, and we don't have time to go that deep. But I just like, I see how you're so excited. I see so many opportunities in that. Is there anything that you want to bring up that I didn't ask before I kind of ask you some other questions?
I just, not that I want to bring up, but in terms of the tool itself, but um, it's built by people that are in store, right? So our owner owns stores, and she's involved with her fixed ops
Can you
teams, and
share? Can you share what stores? Just so like
uh,
that shout out
um,
or
yeah, so Long Buick GMC in Chattanooga or Athens, Tennessee, and the Long family of dealerships right there in Chattanooga, with some others on the way. It's in all of their stores, as well as a bunch of others. We have a great group out west that uses us in all their stores, and but so she's fully involved, right? And we talk about her fixed ops departments every day, right?
I feel
Because
so special to be like the one to get to like help bring this out into like Not that I have like a bunch of people listening. I don't think there's that many people that actually listen to the
You'd be
podcast.
surprised. I mean,
But yeah,
our podcasts are, live or on first run, maybe not, but then when you look at the data and find out how many people actually, this was one of the things that I was surprised at with the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast when Dave started showing me some of the data and the different countries you're in and where it's being done. But I think if we continue to get together so that we can be great together, more and more people are going to see us. So, if we can impact just one person today that says, "Hey, this is really going to help my team," because that's the most important thing, And I keep telling friends, friends, family, people in demos that yes, we want to move this product and we want to put it in as many stores as we possibly can, and yes, that's how we're going to feed our families. But when we add it to a store, my team, myself, Sephora, our ownership, we take responsibility of that. However many employees that are under that umbrella are now our responsibility to help make sure that they're performing to the best level that they can. So, as much as we're talking about a solution, I don't want anybody to forget that we're probably one of the only ones out there that almost every one of our employees has been in the field in fixed, understands what we're talking about, understands what needs to be done, understands to listen because there's going to be changes. So for our own stores, I've got 20 plus years. Tanner, my AE, is 10 years as an advisor. Todd, our implementation and jack of all trades, really 30 years with Honda. Two of our developers were technicians. So I mean, we are a team that understands and bleeds fixed operations. So when you're telling us something, we understand it. And I think the cool thing is that in the month that I've been with the company as the chief revenue officer, uh, every person that I've talked to that is in a dealership for the most part, has given me the time because of the fact that I'm not talking about selling you a tool. I want to understand the operation before we even talk about the tool. I'm 20 plus years. I want to see what's going on. And the other part of it is when you bring our tool on, we're going to be there. If you need us, we're here. We're going to talk however you want to do it. You want to talk once a week when we first, on board. Do you want to do it once a month from there? How do you want to do it? I'm not going to just we're not checking a box and saying, "Hey, we talked to the dealer." I want to know what's going on and what we need to do to make Joe perform better, or Sally needs to get a couple more upsells in Express, or whatever it may be. I want to look at these things and really be a help and a focus point. And as much as we talk about this product, everybody knows that I've demoed my fair share of everything. So I don't have amnesia. I know everything that's happened for the past 20 something years, and I just want to be a help. I
you
want to
want to
make
help.
I
Yeah.
want to make us better.
This totally gives you the opportunity to help so many more people. I think that's what I see a lot when people come from dealership and go into like this space. They're able to help so many people. But I do want to ask, how has the shift been? Like, what has been some kind of wake up calls? Some like, this kind of like, some growing pains that you had to go through. I mean, you're probably still you're a month in. I mean, when this goes out, it's going to be like 2 months in. But yeah, I know it's a big question, but
Um, I think the biggest thing is for 20 plus years, my schedule has been pretty the same, right? So I'm either working 5 days this week, 6 days this week, in some cases 7 days, and I'm up at this, 5:30 in the morning to be at the store for 6:30, quarter to seven, depending on when it opened, whatever, and I'd be out somewhere between 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Now. I have three different schedules that are trying to talk to each other to keep me on point so I don't miss things and I know where all my time is. And working from a home office that I didn't have. I had to go out and buy a home office and try and put that together, and I'm still struggling with some of that. But now being on the road, so I'm actually I'm in a Hyundai dealership right now, sitting in the service director's office, and
I was going to ask. I'm like, you look like you're at a dealership.
I am. I'm at Tamiami Hyundai with Sammy Joe, talking about tech wall and what it can do for her. And thankfully, we have a good relationship. And I said, "Hey, I need a favor. I'm recording a podcast at noon. Can I borrow your office?" And she's like, "Hell yeah, do it."
That's
So
so cool.
um,
What do you
so
feel
yeah,
like what do you feel like some strategies that you have to like get in front of dealerships? Like what are some things that you could share that, to people that are like maybe not at dealerships? Like on my side, like what are you how do you get more in front of dealerships? I guess is the question. Or what's your strategy? I know you're probably still learning, but have people told you no to like F off, like, hey, don't talk to me. you're just you're just some guy at Tech Wall, you know?
I think use a little common sense. Know the times that a director is going to be somewhat available. Try and get on their schedule and communicate before you come in, so that that cold call drop in is never the most successful, right? So, you know. Any what I will say is that anybody that I've gotten on the phone, because that's the hardest part, right? You get us to answer is the hardest part, and I know that. But once they answer and I announce who I am and say, hey, this isn't a normal pitch. I'm 20 plus years in the business. I just need to understand what's going on in your store and see if there's something I can do to help. Generally, that's opening up the line of communications, and I have that advantage, right? So, I have to say where I'm from, but in reality, I just want to know, hey, how was your Thanksgiving? How did the month end? What's going on in your world? What's the struggle points? Whatever it may be. So I think the cold calling is different for me, right? Because normally I'm just picking up a phone and I'm calling a partner and saying, hey, I need this or whatever it is, and now people don't know that they need me yet. And I try and get that message out as much as I can. And Tech Wall ourselves, we're doing a big push right now to get our name out there and become somebody that people are talking about. Which is an advantage, right? I was just telling somebody a little while ago, this product's been in the market for over 10 years,
No
and
way.
yeah,
I guess
and
that is an advantage. It is.
so I forget who I was just talking to, but I said, it's like being an 18-year-old kid that's going in to buy a car. It's not that you have bad credit; you just have no credit. So it's not like I have to offset things that the company's done wrong, because they haven't. But I do have to find credibility and get our FICO score up where it needs to be, so that people understand who we are. Um, but I truly believe in the product, and Sephora stayed in contact with me over a year, and that was a year where I had to tell her that I couldn't get her sold into my store more than a couple of times, and she worked her tail off to do everything she could to try and support me because she knew she could help. And to her credit, unlike a lot of others, that when you tell them that you can't get them on, what happened to that personal relationship when I could have been a client? I might have, and I know in a lot of cases I've actually recommended folks that I couldn't, because I couldn't get them on, but I believed in the product, and my network allows me to tell people about these things. Um, but yet, when you can't buy, um, they disappear, and that's not who I'm about. Relationships, and maybe today's not the right time, but 6 months from now might be. And for me, it's more about the relationship and understanding what you're doing to continually better your product, or in this case, better your dealership or whatever. Like, okay, you didn't buy me today, but you need something tomorrow. I'm still going to answer the phone.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think there's a difference. You can tell in the people that are just like they're good, they're never really going to change. They're just not you're not ideal customer, and you're still friends or whatever, but you move on. But then there's like what you're saying, there's a lot of times where it's like it's just not the right time. There's so much going on in the dealership. There's so many different areas to improve, and you can't do it all at once.
No,
It's like,
no.
yeah.
And, and
So
and and I think that's it. I think it's the honesty portion of it. I mean, yeah, we all have quotas and we have things that we want to hit, and I want to put TechWall in as many stores as I can per month, and that's it's because I believe in the product, and
it
you know,
it's like nurturing so much that it's like they are to the point where they're like, I can't live without this. Like I have to have this.
yeah. Yeah, and between the customization of the things that we can do within the platform itself, our support being real, meaning if you're calling into our support team, you're calling a phone number that somebody's going to answer. It's not a hey, we'll put a ticket in and see how it is. Our Devo team's going to work right now on whatever that issue is, and then the after the fact. I mean, it's something that I've talked to Safer about quite a bit. Before I came over to make sure that the culture was right. It's That's great that you guys have TechWall now. My job is to keep you on TechWall for as long as I possibly can, and the only way to do that is to be a true partner and a true asset to that team. And there's been some questions about, all right, well, once you start doing that and you scale up, how are you going to be able to continue to give this level of service? And we've thought about it. We've thought about it. We've talked about it. We know what's going on. And I said, hey, we need to have a consistent bullpen of people that we want that can come on once this starts to scale, so that we
Yes.
continue doing what we're going to do.
I was gonna
Um,
say the people, building the
yeah,
people out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's from developers to implementation team to coaches to whatever we need to do. But that said, we're not going to change the way that we're hiring people. We're going to be very selective on the people that we're hiring. We're going to make sure that they've been embedded in fixed ops, that they can speak the language, that they understand what's going on, that they've been in stores or an independent or something where they can have real conversation. Um, that's important to us and our culture. Our mission is to make everybody better.
So, okay, as we wrap up, I want to know what Kyle is most excited for 2026. Like, what are some big goals? I know you're a goal oriented person. Yeah, what are you most excited for in 2026?
I'm really excited about being able to get our message out and getting our company and our product out into the forefront. I'm excited to go to NADA for my first time. We have a booth at
You've
NADA,
never
and
been? Oh my gosh.
so I'm super excited to be able to experience that, and hopefully this push that we're making going into NADA is going to draw a lot of attention to us in a good way, where we get to present the product in its full scope and what it can do, and really surprise people. I think what I'm really most excited about is I'm going to get to travel the world in essence, because I can sell it anywhere. But focal points obviously are going to be the U.S. and Canada. But I'm going to get to see a ton of stores next year, and stores that I never would have seen if I stayed on the dealer side. I'm going to be able to engage with a lot of people that are going to buy us, and some of us are, some people aren't going to buy us, but I'm still going to get to meet them and know who they are, and continue to build my network. I'm hoping to really push the podcast on, the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast. More, and expand who I'm bringing on the show and everything. But I think the thing I'm most excited for is the fact that I get together so that I can help everybody be great together, and in turn, that's gonna make me better. So, a lot of learning still to come, and
But you have a
always.
great support to help you too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a great team and a great network, and folks like you that I can reach out to, and um, our team at Gratis, the parent company, are really solid and dedicated in what we're doing. They want to support, right? They want to help dealers get better. So, man, there's a lot to look forward in 26. I'm going to get to meet a lot of people for the first time face to face that I talk to on a
I
weekly,
know.
daily, monthly
It's so
basis.
crazy to do that too.
So yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of firsts. It's hopefully spend some more time with Lauren, and get up north to see the kids more often, and our new niece, and my kids, and so I guess that's part of it. But I'm just really excited about this new path, and I just want to make it as successful as I can.
That's exciting. I'm so excited for you. Just seeing just kind of like what you went through to get to where it is. It's like sometimes you feel like it's like, "Oh no, what am I going to do?" Or like you just kind of go through these like, "Oh shit, what like this like process of it, and then it always works out. Like, even I said this to someone recently, and it's like so cliche, but it's like when a door closes, a bigger one opens. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes it doesn't open like that same day. You
Right.
have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's
And
a
I feel like that's what happened. I think this is an avenue for me to really be able to make a difference.
yeah.
And, I think that difference ends up financially helping my family. And I think from a mental standpoint of, not being in the same grind, my wife's like, hey, you have this different light about you. And, she's like, I can tell that you're having a lot of fun. And not that you weren't having fun in the dealer side, but I feel like you were feeling strangled, and the things that you wanted to do, you weren't able to get done. She said, now, I feel like you have that ability to do the things that you want to do. And so hopefully she remains cool with me traveling here and there and how that goes. But we'll see how
We'll
it
see.
works out.
We'll talk about that whole like process of balancing everything. I'm always happy to talk about that.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, I don't
sure.
travel very much, but that's a perfect time to end the podcast because I think I feel like I said, I feel very honored to be able to like put this out there and share because it sounds like such a great solution that's going to help with process efficiency and just make everyone's life so much easier and then constantly improve. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, thank you
So
for
thank
having me.
yeah, thank you.
I'm glad
Go
it's
ahead.
you too.
Oh, that I get to share.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. So thank you so much, Kyle.
I
And if
appreciate it.
anyone wants to get a hold of you, LinkedIn will have your profile on there. I think that's kind of the
Absolutely.
best way. The
Yep,
website.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Come right to me, and we'll make it happen for you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Kyle.